Don't let your children be cooped up inside the house just because some other grown up tells them they can't. Just because some other grown up tells them they can't be outside playing ball, or they can't be outside doing whatever. So all I'm saying is this: don't keep your children cooped up in the house. They have to be outside doing something. They have to be outside, whether they're playing ball, going walking, exercising, or just outside doing yard work or meditating. You cannot and cannot keep your kids cooped up inside the house just because some other grown up tells them they can't be outside. Just because some other grown up tells them they can't be outside. They can't be outside playing. They have to do something. They cannot be cooped up inside the house. You have to get your children outside doing something. Whether it's yard work, playing, exercising, what have you. I know these are trying times, but still, you have to get your kids outside the house. You have to get them doing something outside the house besides being cooped up in the house, just sitting around. And you can't let them be cooped up inside the house, whether they're on the computer, on the phone, or playing video games or whatever. You have to get your kids active. I know these are trying times, but still, you have to get your kids active. You cannot keep them cooped up inside the house for long periods of time. You cannot do it. You can't do it. So yeah, you cannot keep your kids cooped up inside the house, whether they're on the computer, whether they're on their phone, whether they're inside playing video games, or whether they're inside playing video games or whatnot. You can't just let them sit in front of the idiot box. You cannot let them sit in front of the idiot box forever. You can't let them. In other words, you can't let them sit in front of telly, playing video games, and whether it be mobile or console, what have you. Do not keep your kids cooped up inside the house just because some other grown-up tells you to. You cannot do it. You cannot keep your kids cooped up inside the house forever just because some grown-up tells you to keep your kids inside the house. And speaking of keeping your kids inside the house, Halloween is just around the corner, and some people just get off telling other grown-ups or telling other adults to keep their kids inside the house. Why would you want to keep their kids? Why would you want to keep your kids inside the house on Halloween? They're just going out there, trying to get candy and stuff like that. But speaking of Halloween, there are people out there who would do stuff there are people out there that would do stuff. There are people out there that would do sick things to your kids, like put razor blades in their candy, or put some kind of poison in your kids' candy, and they would do other stuff. Do any sick stuff. In other words, what I'm trying to say is there are sick people out there. There are sick people out in this world who will do anything to hurt other people, especially around Halloween. So, if I were you, I would check your kids' candy. Yeah, I would check. I would check your kid. I mean, check your kids' candy. Have them X-rayed, or do whatever you got to do to keep your kids safe. Because as I said, there are sick people out there. There are sick people out in this world who will do anything to harm others. In other words, they would do anything to hurt other people. So yeah, make sure your kids have fun. So make sure your kids have a safe and happy Halloween. And as I said before, check your kids' treats, check your kids or check your kids' candy, because as I said, there are sick people out in this world who will do anything to harm others, or should I say, do anything to hurt others. Like they'll put razor blades in your kids' candy, they'll put poison in it, they'll lace your kids' candy with poison. They'll put like, I don't know, they'll do sick stuff. Like I was trying to say, put razor blades in your kids' candy. They'll try to lace your kids' treats with poison and stuff like that. And they'll try to they'll try to put doo-doo in your kids' candy. Yes, I said put doo-doo in your kids' candy. They'll try to pee on them. You try to urinate in your kids' candy and stuff like that. And yes, I said urinate. But yeah, make sure your kids have a safe and happy Halloween. And before your kids start eating the candies and stuff like that, make sure to check them. Make sure to get them X-rayed or get them checked, or and do whatever you got to do to keep your kids safe. Because like I said before, there are sick people out in this world who will do anything to harm others. They would do anything. They would do anything to harm your kids, harm you, do any sick little thing, just to get some cheap laughs or whatever. So yeah, that's one of the things you have to look out for on Halloween. Now back to the kids being cooped up in the house. You can't keep your kids cooped up in the house just because some bitter adult or some bitter neighbor tells you you have to keep your kids inside the house. What do the kids benefit from being cooped up inside the house? They don't benefit. They do not benefit. Benefit from being cooped up inside the house. You can't do it. You cannot do it. You cannot deprive your kids of getting fresh air just because some bitter adult or some bitter grown up tells you to. You can't do it. You can't do it.